Some stories don't start with a warning. They start with exhaustion, with a gut instinct that something is wrong long before the truth shows its face. I was dragging myself home after an 18-hour shift at the shipping depot, every part of me aching. My name's Marcus, and I've been raising my daughter Lily, on my own since her mother vanished from our lives 2 years ago. She's only 6, bright, stubborn, with a laugh that fills our small apartment like sunlight through the windows. That night I could barely keep my eyes open. I'd asked my mother, Carla, to watch Lily while I worked. She wasn't thrilled about it, she never is, but she agreed, muttering complaints as usual. When I finally stumbled through the front door, everything was too quiet. No small footsteps running to greet me. No sleepy voice asking if I brought her favorite gummy snacks. I peeked into her room, expecting to find her sprawled across her bed with her teddy bear half off the pillow. Instead, she was lying perfectly still under the blanket, her face calm. I smiled faintly, told myself I'd make her pancakes in the morning, then collapsed on the couch and passed out. Hours later, I jolted awake, heart pounding. It was past 6 in the morning and something felt off. The air was heavy. I stood and walked to her room, dread pressing into my spine with every step. She hadn't moved. Her skin felt too cool, her lips too pale. "Lily," I whispered, nudging her gently. No response. I shook her a little harder. Her head rolled slightly limp. Panic clawed at my throat. I stumbled into the kitchen where my mother was sitting, sipping coffee like it was any other morning, flipping through a magazine. "Why isn't Lily waking up?" My voice cracked. She didn't even look concerned. She just let out an irritated sigh and said, "She was getting on my nerves. Wouldn't stop whining." I gave her some pills to calm her down. Froze. "What pills?" My voice barely escaped my lips. She waved me off like I was asking about the weather. Something to help her sleep. She needed to settle down. My younger sister Nora, who'd apparently stopped by sometime during the night, snorted from the couch, her eyes glued to her phone. "Relax," she muttered, not looking up. "She'll probably wake up. And if she doesn't, well, maybe we'll finally get some peace around here." I can't even remember grabbing my phone. I just remember screaming. The paramedics arrived fast. They stabilized Lily and rushed her to the hospital. I sat in the back of the ambulance, gripping her tiny hand, whispering again and again, "Daddy's here, baby. Hold on. Please hold on." At the ER, they worked on her for what felt like hours. When the doctor finally came to speak with me, his expression made my stomach drop. "She's stable now," he said carefully. "But we had to reverse the sedatives quickly. It's good you brought her in when you did." I felt the slightest flicker of relief, but it didn't last. "Do you know what she was given?" the doctor asked. I shook my head, fists clenched. She was given high doses of zolpidem and diazepam. Multiple adult doses. I stared at him, stunned. I'm no pharmacist, but even I knew those drugs weren't meant for children. Hell, even mixing them could knock me out. "She could have slipped into a coma," the doctor said gravely. "She could have stopped breathing." Something broke inside me. I walked back out to the waiting room. There they were, my mother and sister. My mother flipping through a magazine like nothing happened, and Nora still on her phone with her earbuds in. "You drugged my daughter," I said loud enough for everyone to hear. My mother didn't even blink. "I did what you never do," she said, casually flipping a page. I gave myself some peace. That child is exhausting. Always asking for something. Always loud. My hands were shaking. She's 6. She's supposed to be loud. She's supposed to need things. She just rolled her eyes and sipped her coffee. "You're never home." She's already raising herself. That hit like a slap. Then Nora, with her trademark smugness, added, "Honestly, she's fine now. You're just being dramatic again. Maybe if you stopped acting like the world's only single father." I didn't even argue. I called the police right there in the lobby. When they arrived, my mother laughed like it was all a joke. "You're really doing this? To your own mother? I raised you, Marcus." One officer pulled me aside. She'll be detained, but to make this stick, you'll need to file a full report, he said. CPS will likely get involved too. My whole world was spinning. My little girl had nearly died, and these two women, my own family, acted like she was just noise. Later that night, after Lily woke up groggy and scared, she looked at me and asked, "Daddy, was I bad?" Grandma said I was bad. I held her close, swallowing the lump in my throat. "No, baby. You are perfect. You did nothing wrong." Then she whispered, her voice barely audible, "Will Grandma be mad that I woke up?" That was it. That was the moment I knew. They would never get near her again. I didn't sleep that night. I sat by her bed, watching her breathe, watching her little hands twitch from bad dreams. The next day I filed every report I could. I called a lawyer, one who knew how to handle child protection cases, and started the paperwork for a restraining order. I also dug deeper. With police permission, I searched my mother's house and found her medicine stash. Multiple prescriptions expired from different doctors. She'd been lying about symptoms, doctor shopping, stockpiling pills. And it got worse. I remembered something my sister once bragged about, our mother's secret fund. Turns out she'd been running a disability scam for years, claiming government benefits under fake identities while working under the table. I called a friend from high school who works in fraud investigations. Gave him everything. He called me back the next day. "Marcus, she's cooked. Fraud, theft, identity scams, it's all there. You want us to go after it." I only said 3 words. "Do it." Everything. Within 2 days, investigators swarmed her house. CPS got involved. The news caught wind of it. Suddenly, the woman who mocked me was on TV. Her face broadcast as a grandmother arrested for drugging a child and defrauding the government. But I wasn't finished. Cut every tie. Cleared out the family storage unit. Sold or dumped everything. Changed my locks. Changed my number. Blocked them everywhere. My sister left voicemails dripping with fake apologies and veiled threats. "You're destroying this family. You'll regret this, Marcus. You'll be alone one day, and no one's going to care." She was right about one thing. I was alone now. But I realized that was better than having people around who didn't care whether my daughter lived or died. When Lily came home from the hospital, she was quieter. She started therapy. I took time off work. I let her sleep beside me when the nightmares came. One night we lit a candle together. "We're saying goodbye to people who hurt us," I told her gently. She held my hand and whispered, "Goodbye, Grandma. I don't want your scary hugs anymore." I kissed her forehead and silently, I said goodbye to the last pieces of my childhood too. I wasn't anyone's son anymore. I was just Lily's dad, and that was enough. The courtroom wasn't dramatic. No shouting. No gavel slam. Just cold, sterile justice. My mother sat across from me, face hard, still believing she was in control. The judge read aloud the charges. Child endangerment, drugging a minor, fraud. He showed no remorse. Her defense. "I raised my kids alone. I did what I had to. People blow things out of proportion these days." The judge looked at her like she was a bug under glass. "You administered controlled substances to a child with malicious negligence," he said. "You committed multiple fraud offenses. You are hereby sentenced to 4 years in prison, followed by mandatory rehab and 5 years probation. A permanent protective order is granted for both the child and her legal guardian." She was led away in cuffs. She didn't even glance at me. Outside it was raining lightly. I picked up Lily from a friend's house. She ran to me, backpack bouncing, pigtails messy, smiling wide. "Daddy." "Did the judge fix it?" I lifted her into my arms. "Yes, baby. The scary part's over. It's been 8 months. We moved to a quiet town. New school. New routines. I work fewer hours now. I go to every school event. She has a new therapist she loves. Last month, for the first time in almost a year, she slept through the night without waking up crying. Sometimes she still asks me, "Daddy, will they come back?" I always tell her the truth. They can't. And even if they could, Daddy would never let them near you again. There's a new photo on our kitchen wall now. A crayon drawing Lily made. Our house, 2 stick figures holding hands inside. She wrote underneath it in wobbly letters. Me and Daddy. Safe. Sometimes justice isn't loud. Sometimes it's the quiet click of a door locking behind someone who thought they were untouchable. And sometimes, it's the sound of a little girl laughing in the next room. Finally free.